Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Red for Ed Wednesday. This is your PEA President, Stephanie Yocum, here with a 10-minute meeting for salary proposal updates. All right, we're right in the middle of bargaining right now. We think we're going to be finishing up in the next couple of weeks, but our union, your union, needs you. We not only need you to show up to the bargaining meetings once we have those dates, we need you, if you haven't yet joined, to join your union. Because we're going to go through and explain where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go as a union, where you want to go with your input. But it's more imperative than ever that we stand side by side in membership and in power. Join your union so that we can continue this work as we lay it out here today. So where we've been. So I'm going to take us back to the 1920 school year where our base salary was $40,972. In the next year, we got teacher funds that had a lot of strings attached, not just some strings attached, a lot of strings attached to move the base salary to a minimum of $47,500. And those strings attached were most of that money had to go to the base salary while leaving out very inequitably and very unjustly our veteran experienced teachers. So where we've been in the last 3 years, we moved to $45,172 in the 2021 school year. That was a $4,200 increase to the base, while our veteran teachers, our experienced teachers, only saw $1,200 because of those inequities that were in the strings attached to that law. In the 21-22 school year, with the same money, they didn't allocate as much. So we were only able to add $315 into each level on our salary schedules for teachers. But that was the same year that we also negotiated the $1,000 ESSER supplement that we're seeing today that ends this year. In the 22-23 school year, we were able to move from $45,487 to $47,500, the state minimum. And that was important last year because once we reached the state minimum of $47,500, that freed up and took away most of those strings attached to those dollars. And so now we're here in the 23-24 school year, moving forward and looking out to the 25-26 school year. That money that is coming from the state, earmarked just for teachers, can now be used to start to solve the injustices and the inequalities that our veteran teachers have experienced over the last 3 years with these strings attached to these monies. So for this year, one of the main things that we heard as we were holding town halls and coming to your schools and through surveys that you said salaries needed to be decompressed. And what I mean by that is right now in our very first level of our teacher salary, we have 0 to 13 years of teaching experience, making $47,500 in the first pay level. That first pay level has to be broken up, and then everybody else has to move down. And we're seeing the same thing in our grandfather schedule. And so what we're looking at doing for this year and what we've proposed across the table for your proposal is that in this first year, 0 years of experience is going to stay at $47,500 for this year, next year, and the year after that. For this year, if you have 1 to 3 years of experience in that base, you're going to move 1 level. If you have 4 to 5 years of experience in the base, you're going to move 2. 6 to 7, three levels down. If you have 8 to 9 years of experience, you're going to move 4 levels down. 10 to 11 years of experience, you're going to move 5 levels down. 12 to 13 years of experience, we have proposed that you would move 6 levels down. And that breaks up that first level AAD. Now, if you're on AAE, F, G, H down the line, AAE down would also move 6 pay levels on the pay for performance side. And that's pay for performance teachers and pay for performance student services. Our grandfathered teachers are kind of in the same position where we're going to need to break up that as well in the front to move everybody else down. So you're going to move this kind of in the same pattern as our pay for performance, but because your level starts at AAC, because again, one of the stupid, ridiculous laws that we've been relinquished from with moving to 47.5 was that the grandfathered schedule had to start less than the pay for performance. So now that we can completely mirror them, Our grandfathered teachers that are currently on AAD and down, so AAE, FG down, the schedule will move 7 levels for this year of what we've proposed for your proposal across the table. So for the next year, you see a similar breaking up. We continue to break up the compression, with the top, experience from 0 to 13 years. We continue to move those down. And so after year 13, you're going to move 5 levels next year based on your proposal. And then in the next year, we actually completely break up the decompression or the compression that's happened in the 25-26 school year based on your proposal. And so we would then be in the 25-26 school year for year. No year would be on the same level as the other. And minimally, we would be moving 2 down for years 5 years of experience down. And I do want to remind you guys that this is minimum, because when we get the budget next year and the year after, we would cost out this decompression model breakup, and then money that we have left over would then go into improving the salary schedule or breaking up the decompression faster. We would rework that as we see the more money on the table. And so let's talk about the actual dollars from the 1920 to where we're proposing that we go as a unit in the 25-26 school year. So where we've been from the 1920 school year to last year, the 22-23, our base has seen an increase. So our newer teachers have seen a base increase of $6,528, while our veteran teachers have only seen a combined $3,000-ish around, depending on where you've been at on your levels. What we're proposing, what your proposal says from now through 25-26, is that our newer teachers, as we start to break up that compression, would see a total of $1,131 on average, depending on where they're at. And our veteran teachers over the next 3 years, with the inverse of correcting the injustices and equities that those monies had tied in with them, our veteran teachers would see about $5,279 over the next 3 years based on your proposal for decompression. So by the end of the 25-26 school year, we really see it all come out in the wash here, to where total over the last 6 years, our newer teachers would see about $7,600, and our veteran teachers are going to see about $8,300 overall. And your proposal helps to fix that and really does fix the decompression the compression that's happened over these last couple of years. We have 2 other issues on the table right now that we're trying to shore up and get a resolution on. The other one outside of the decompression, because this is the number one issue that we've heard from you guys. So this must be addressed as the number one issue. The number 2 issue is pay for performance. So your union has proposed with your proposal a $500 highly effective supplement and a $300 effective supplement while we get this compression worked out. That would cost them about $2 million. With that, we're asking them to put in some of their fund balance money to pay for this, which is $9 million is 1% of their fund balance. We're asking for $2 million to shore up performance pay for you all, for all of us. So we're still going back and forth on that issue. The second issue is class size. As we are continuing to see the critical shortage of teacher vacancies across the state, Polk is not unaffected by this. We have just under 300 instructional vacancies right now. And so those kids are going somewhere. And our superintendent has said from his own mouth that there's only 2 options. One option is we keep those classes and those courses, and non-classroom teachers or subs continue to just rotate through those classes with inconsistent instruction for those kids. Or the second option is to take those classes or those courses and split them up into teachers that are certified highly effective teachers, highly qualified teachers. And the second option is what we're seeing a lot of our schools do, because at the end of the day, we all want kids to have a high quality education that they deserve under the Florida Constitution. But with that comes a burden of workload. And our district is on record saying that they don't really want to compensate us for that, that it's just part of our job. we need your help. We need to stand arm in arm together, because that's where our power as a union comes from, is when we stand together side by side and advocate for the language and the compensation that we need as professionals to not only make our working conditions better, but our students' learning conditions what they need, because this is what this is all about. So again, once we get bargaining dates, I ask you to come after your duty day and watch bargaining, because we are stronger together and when we have our power with us. If you're not yet a member, join, because it is imperative at this point that we be certified at 60% so that we can continue this work together. And that is how we do this, is together. So thank you guys. Happy Red for Ed Wednesday. And we'll be getting with you shortly with bargaining dates. Thank you.